What would you rather have? $100,000 on your bank account or $500 more income every week? If your answer to this question is $100,000, then this video might not be for you. Hello and welcome to a new video of Invest Explained. My name is Peter, and today I will be talking about financial stability and how you can achieve it. Financial stability is something most people dream of, and yet it looks like the financial choices we make don't help us in any way to achieve that dream. Most people will choose short pleasures over long-term solutions, and I can't blame them. You see, we live in a world where we are constantly bombarded by external sources that trigger us to live a life that our current financial situation won't allow. In almost every movie or sitcom, people live in luxury. We get the examples of what the perfect person should look like. Every year we are getting pumped up for Black Friday to lead us into temptation for a shopping spree. How many times have you heard people say, I bought this at 30% discount, so I made a profit? Wrong. You didn't make a profit. You were seduced to buy this article and to spend the little money you have on something that you actually don't need. Then there are these people who think it's necessary to live in a way that hurts their financial situation. They walk beside their shoes, as to speak. For example, how many times have you heard someone say, if I win the lottery, I'll give some money to so-and-so or to this and that organization? In one way or another, the money that these kinds of people get is going to disappear like snow in front of the sun. It's obvious that most people have thought very deeply about how to spend their money on short-term pleasures, but not on how they can use that money for long-term financial stability. And that's the difference between the 99% and the 1%. The 99% get money, they buy a fancy car, the latest iPhone, they order fancy clothes or book decadent trips, etc. The 1%, however, would like to see their income increase. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not condemning the thought patterns of these buy-happy people. Everyone has the right to do with their money however they see fit, but don't be surprised that at the end of the month, when the bills are paid, you barely have any money left for food to feed yourself and your family. What I'm suggesting in this video are ways to improve your financial situation, how to create long-term financial stability. Some people might find my observations offensive because it challenges their view of the world. I question their thoughts, and this can sometimes be hard to hear, but note that how bluntly I put things. It's not my intention to upset you. On the contrary, the goal here is to help people in creating financial stability in their life. And that starts with self-knowledge. How many people have actually taken a close look at their financial situation? And by that I mean really a close look, not just a quick look at your mobile banking app. It still surprises me every time how many people are completely clueless about what money goes in and what money goes out of their bank account. This can mean one of two things. Either you're so rich that you don't even have to worry about your finances, or you haven't even taken the time yet to evaluate your own finances when you actually should have. Because believe it or not, money is important. Don't get influenced by people who say money doesn't buy happiness, because that is just a ridiculous statement. Money is part of a global accounting system. That accounting system is going to be the main theme in the course of your life. So it is important And it's because it's so important that in the context of this video, it is of vital importance that you realize that money, in all its evilness, is going to determine almost every aspect of your life. So map out your financial situation by listing all income and expenses so you know what's going on. Let's take a look at the least fun part first. The expenses. Because admit it, none of us likes to see money disappear from the bank account. I know I would rather not see it. A distinction must be made between expenses necessary for survival, expenditures that are accountable, and unnecessary expenditures. Expenses necessary for survival include everything from water, gas, electricity, rent, food, drinks, etc. In short, everything that meets your basic needs. A roof over your head, food and drinks on the table, and heating. Responsible expenses include things such as buying a gift for your child's birthday, a mobile subscription to keep in touch with friends and family, etc. Unnecessary expenses are your third pair of sneakers that you bought in the same summer, or the latest iPhone, because it's just that little bit faster than the previous one. As far as unnecessary expenditure is concerned, we can easily conclude here that we should scrap all of it. All this kind of expenditure does is caress your ego and provide short moments of pleasure. In no way do they increase your status in society. Fake it till you make it, they say. But the only thing it makes is an unpleasant negative balance at the end of the month. In no way do they contribute to a healthy financial situation. So cut these expenses. Responsible expenditure is tricky because it is subjective. What is responsible for person A is unacceptable for person B. So it's difficult to define what a responsible expense really is. I think common sense is a message here. An example. Suppose you see a saucepan in the store. A good argument for buying that pan would be, my saucepan just broke, so I have to buy a new one. Bad argument would be, the saucepan I have at home is 5 years old, and the saucepan I see in the store is on a discount. A saucepan can last for more than 5 years, and age is not synonymous with the hours of use that are left. Although I won't deny that there is a correlation between the two, but since it's impossible to predict, you cannot use this as a valid argument. So be honest with yourself when you're determining what is a responsible expense and which is unnecessary. Necessary expenses are needed to survive, so here you cannot eliminate. The next step is to prune the edges, scalping, if I may. Scalping is a term used in trading. It more or less means that you use small differences in the market price for your own financial gain. How do you do that with regard to your own banking affairs, you wonder? By being selective, very selective, about where your expenses go. For example, look for an electricity supplier that is cheaper than your current one. Or view your insurance policies and find a broker who offers the same coverage for a cheaper price. Compare the prices in a store when you go for food and ask yourself, is it really worth paying a higher price for the same product just because it has a nicer packaging? And I understand at first sight it seems like a great effort for a minimum profit, but these small steps help to guide you in a massive leap forward. Great, now you have an amount of money left at the end of the month. When we talk about a surplus at the end of the month, or an amount that you have free access to and is no longer needed to pay your bills, the response of most people will be, where can I spend this cash? They start to think of all kinds of things to invest their money in. They'll say, I have invested in a new mattress, or I invested in a new coat. The term investing is used in a broader sense in everyday life, I get that, but I still get the jitters from the choice of words in this context. Wasting sounds more appropriate. Instead of thinking of ways to waste your money, ask yourself the question, how can I make this money pay off? And by that, I do not necessarily mean all the surplus money, because this requires a lot of self-discipline. And I am aware that not every person has that. But for example, you can keep half for profitable solutions and the other half for sweeteners. But remember, the less unnecessary expenses, the better in the long term. By making money pay off, I mean making money. You have the classic ways of making money. For example, buying an item and selling it for more money, or buying something with which you can produce things or provide services for which you can charge money. But I propose other more passive and more pleasant options. There are ways you can create a passive income in addition to your fixed income, because this will not affect your current job. It is often the case that when people take on a second or even a third job, their current job suffers a loss in quality, quantity, or focus. And not only your job, but also your family, your mental health, your physical health, and your social life suffers. This will result in a loss of motivation. It's a good short-term solution, but in no way is it a valid long-term solution. So it is in your best interest to create passive income. Work smarter, not harder. You can grow your passive income over time. This principle is called compounding, and it is derived from the term compounding interest. The idea is to reinvest your profits every time you make money. This will make your capital grow exponentially. Keep in mind that this is a formula that only works in the long term. There's different types of passive income. Here are some examples. You can buy high dividend shares, or bonds with high coupons, or funds with distribution. You can get rental money from a garage box, rental money from other property, you can buy vending machines, etc. Now suppose you decide to buy a vending machine for $1,200, and for the sake of argument, you have $100 net profit per month. Then you can buy a second machine after a year and have it make money as well. Now suppose that it also yields about $100 per month. Then you can buy a new one after 6 months and repeat the process. Now I know that we are not living in a utopia and that it will never go that smoothly. There may be a defect in a machine, for example. Rents may remain unpaid, a share may also drop in value, and a garage box may be empty as long as there's no tenant. You do not necessarily have to limit yourself to one type of passive income. You can combine them and spread the risk. The most important thing here is that you understand the principle of compounding interest. It's much more interesting to make your money grow exponentially instead of linearly. So to conclude, first you have to analyze your money traffic. Second, reduce your expenses where possible. Third, use the surplus money to obtain passive income. And fourth, keep investing to increase your passive income exponentially. If there are any questions or comments about this video, feel free to post them in the comment section below. If this video was useful to you, then please drop a like and share it with a friend. Thanks for watching. See you next time.